been a bit lackluster, to say the least, is Godrej Consumer, which on the face of it, at least the numbers were better than expectations, but expectations weren't sort of breaking through the ceiling anyway to begin with. Let's go across to Mangalam and then we'll get the analysis going with Mehraboon Irani in just a moment. Mangalam, so the fine print on Godrej Consumer?
Well, Godrej Consumer, prima facie, these numbers are better than expected, and that's primarily because the expectations themselves were based by the company in their third quarter preview itself. But two things that really stand out from the numbers this time around. We start with the India volumes that have grown by 3%. The street was bracing itself for a number of just around 1 to 2 odd %. And secondly, the EBITDA margins have remained stable year on year, and this despite a 70 basis points increase in ad spend. So that's telling you that, the company is sweating its operating performance well and using their gross margins as well, because gross margins year on year have seen a 50 basis points improvement, but quarter on quarter there's been a near 280 basis points improvement in their gross margin. So ad spends as a percentage of sales coming at 7.7% versus 6.9%. In the other geographies as well, the Indonesian business, while it has seen a decline of 3% in the revenues, it's actually a positive growth ex sanitizers, a positive growth of 2%, and that reeks of sequential improvement. There's been an 11th running quarter of double-digit growth in their Africa business, so that does well for them. And in India as well, growth has been led both by home care, which has grown by about 10%, and personal care, which has grown by 14%. Personal care business led by the hair colors business, and home care, of course, led by household insecticides and air fresheners. So all in all, good performance coming in, slightly better than expectations.
Okay, got that, Mangalam. Thanks very much. Let's take this to Mehraboon Irani, who's joining in on this leg of the show. Mehraboon, good afternoon. Always great to have you on. And finally, the big budget day is almost upon us. Before we talk about markets overall, Godrej, from a results point of view, and anyway, there's a bit of a budget angle as well, right? If indeed people like you and me have more money in our hands to consume tomorrow, then that's anyway a kicker for most of these consumption stocks. Your thoughts?
Well, that's absolutely the consensus, I think, what you just mentioned, Surabhi. I think anybody and everybody expects that more money will be left in the hands of the taxpayer. So who benefits out of this? I think I would say discretionary consumption is likely to be the major gainer out of this. As far as the entire FMCG space goes, and Godrej Consumer in particular goes, I think quite decent numbers. Commodity prices abating, expect gradual recovery in consumption, and margins going forward hopefully should improve for this entire FMCG space. Also, the fact remains that at the valuations at which they are, there are reasons to have relatively higher comfort than what one felt 3-4 months ago, than when there were more opportunities in the market. So I would say FMCG discretionary consumption also could be a good defensive play in this scenario of the market where a lot of nervousness is still very much there. I think companies can also afford to go in for upfront marketing cost with the ultimate intent of reducing the controllable cost. So I would give a clear thumbs up as far as the FMCG space goes, and Godrej Consumer certainly stands in my top 5 bets in this particular sector. So I would say that if you don't have too many things to do right now, if you don't understand what to do, you're feeling very nervous, market actually is oversold right now, and you want to go and buy something, you can definitely go and buy one of this top 5 FMCG stocks, in which Godrej Consumer is certainly one of them.